Thus the biblical psalmist described the marvels of the heavens and the miracles of days and nights following each other. As the earth rotates on its axis, the biblical line that goes through the earth, and orbits the sun that sits at the center of all, as a potentate in his tent. The day is thine, and the night too. Thou hast established the luminary and the sun. Summer and winter by thee were created. For millennia, ever since man acquired civilization, astronomer priests looked to the heavens for guidance to man on earth. From the ziggurats of Sumer and Babylon, the temples of Egypt, the stone circle of Stonehenge, or the caracol at Chichen Itza, complex celestial motions of the stars and planets have been observed, calculated, recorded. And to make that possible, the ziggurats and temples and observatories were aligned to precise celestial orientations and provided with apertures and other structural features that let the light of the sun or another star enter as a beam at equinox or solstice times. Why did man go to such lengths? To see what? To determine what? It is customary among scholars to attribute ancient man's astronomical endeavors to the needs of an agricultural society for a calendar telling it when to sow and when to reap. This explanation has been taken for granted far too long. A farmer tilling the land year after year can judge the change of seasons and the coming of rains better than an astronomer, and has the groundhog to tell him a thing or two. The fact is that wherever pockets of primitive societies subsisting on agriculture have been found in remote parts of the world, they have lived and fed themselves for generations without astronomers and a precise calendar. It is also an established fact that the calendar was devised in antiquity by an urban, not an agricultural society. A simple sun clock, a gnomon, can provide enough daily and seasonal information if one could not have survived without it. Yet ancient man studied the heavens and aligned his temples toward stars and planets, and linked his calendar and festivals not to the ground upon which he stood, but to the ways of heaven. Why? Because the calendar was devised not for agricultural, but for religious purposes. Not to benefit mankind, but to venerate the gods. And the gods, according to the first ever religion and the people who gave us the calendar, came from the heavens. One ought to listen to and re-listen to the psalmist's verses to realize that the observation of the wonders of the celestial phenomena had nothing to do with tilling the land or herding the cattle. It had to do with the veneration of the Lord of all. And there is no way to understand that better than to go back to Sumer. For it was there, some 6,000 years ago, that astronomy, the calendar, and a religion linking earth with the heavens had their beginning. It was knowledge, the Sumerians asserted, that was given them by the Anunnaki, those who from heaven to earth came, who had come to earth from their planet Nibiru. Nibiru, they said, was the 12th member of the solar system. And that is why the celestial band was divided into 12 houses, the year into 12 months. Earth was the 7th planet, counting from the outside in, and therefore as 12 was a hallowed celestial number, 7 was a sacred terrestrial one. The Anunnaki the Sumerians wrote upon numerous clay tablets had come to Earth long before the deluge. In the 12th planet, we determined that it happened 432,000 years before the deluge, a period equivalent to 120 orbits of Nibiru, orbits that, though to the Anunnaki represent but a single year of theirs, are equivalent to 3,600 Earth years. They came and went between Nibiru and Earth each time their planet came closer to the Sun and Earth, as it passed between Jupiter and Mars. And there is no doubt whatsoever that the Sumerians began to observe the heavens not to know when to sow, but in order to see and celebrate the return of the celestial Lord. This, we believe, is why man became an astronomer. This is why, as time passed and Nibiru itself could no longer be observed, man sought signs and omens in the phenomena that could be seen. and astronomy bred astrology. And if the astronomical orientations and alignments and celestial divisions that began in Sumer could also be found in the Andes,